Hey guys, Ralph here. Welcome to True Power Trumpet Fitness on this thrilling Thursday here in Connecticut. Life's good, campers. Life is good. Let's get right to it. You saw the thumbnail. My Mel Broiles Moment, okay, of which there were hundreds, if not thousands, of specific moments etched in my brain. I've talked about him a lot, but there was one thing, one time, that just really got me thinking about him in a completely different light. Okay? I have played a little bit. Let me honk a little bit. And special thanks to Nick Drozdov for getting me the transcription of this little ditty I'm about to play. All right? Big as a house. Little pick. Smoke and E-flats. And that little ditty by Anonymous, I'll get to that in a second. All right. Anyway, you drinking, eating and drinking your fruits and vegetables? So here's the deal. And Nick's got a nice version of that up on his website too. Guys, you should go to his. He's got some real nice stuff. He does a lot of stuff with technology and his son and family affairs, and he's got a lot of guys working on projects. He's got some really, really nice stuff. And every single time you listen to him, he sounds better. Anyway, with that said, he sent me the clip of him doing that, and that just brought back memories. Okay, now let me tell you. It was my freshman year of Manus. I think it's about February, a little later in the year. I had been around the block maybe, I don't know, an eighth of a time. Right, I'm still a noob, just really wide-eyed. And anyway, now I had heard Vacchiano play. I had heard Mel Broiles play. I heard them both. Now remember, Vacchiano. I went to Vacchiano one week. The next week I went over to the Met and played with Mel. Okay, I had heard Maynard Ferguson for the first time. That's with Lynn Nicholson and the whole band. I mean. Okay, I was getting an education. But it was about February, and sure enough, Maurice was in town at Carnegie Hall playing with the National Symphony from Washington, conducted by Rostropovich. Now, the creme de la creme. Does it get much better than that? Okay, so I went to the concert with my buddies, and Maurice was just everything you wanted Maurice to be. Jerry was in the front row, and we taught everything you wanted to be, just brilliant. And he played several encores, but one was that I just played. Okay, and after just knocking the walls down with that, he had to play a couple more. We wouldn't let him leave. All right, finally, well. Actually, the last time he came out, he didn't bring his trumpet with him because he would have been playing all night. He was just like, I'm done. Get out of here. You got your money's worth. So anyway, that was on a Saturday night. I'll never forget. And I had a lesson with Mel on Wednesday at the Met. Okay? So in between that Saturday night and my lesson, some of the guys got in touch with Mel and told him that he played that little ditty, which was in Mel's piccolo trumpet book, the transcription. So Mel made copies of all of us, for all of us, and just handed them out. There you go. He's the fat Frenchman, I understand, played that the other day. Mel wasn't at the concert. He was working. And so, hey, you got your piccolo here? I happen to. It was an old Gibson out of tune. Let's see what you got. So I played it, and so, of course, I'm 18 years old. I tripped all over it. Now, Mel, what I'm about to say, was not trying to show up Maurice. And that, just the way he taught, his teaching style was, I can't put anything into words. I'll show you what it's supposed to sound like. And he played a lot in the lessons. Okay? And usually he would say, that's one way of thinking about it, Ace, but how about this? And he'd play it, in his sublime style. Anyway, so I heard Maurice do it and tear the walls down at Carnegie Hall on Saturday. And I heard Mel do it. He put in his jet tone mouthpiece into his Selmer pick and blew Maurice off the freaking stand. Killed him for tone and power. Just absolutely covered him. You wouldn't have heard one note Maurice said, but it had all the artistry, all the pop in the articulations that I was drooling over. And back then I didn't know from pop. Jerry and I were years away from the tongue and the pop pop being, the gauge for. We didn't know that. All I knew is what I was listening to was just unbelievable and significantly better than Maurice. Okay? Now, I'm going to leave the clip down below that I've used before of Mel at a clinic at Curtis. And you are going to hear him play the piccolo. It's not that one. It's not that one. But I want you to use your imagination and listen to that center, that tone, that fire, that sizzle with the warmth that he got on all his playing. And just picture that on that little ditty I just played. And you'll hear what I'm talking about. That was better than Maurice. Now, with that said, I'm saying that was my Mel Broiles moment. Because even though I was wide-eyed and everything was brand new, at that point going forward, I started comparing him to all the other players that I heard and worked with and all this sort of stuff. Now, at the time, at Manus, every single brass player at Manus, horn players, tuba players, whatever, was studying with either somebody at the Met or somebody at the New York Philharmonic. Lucky me, I got both. Okay? So the point is, we just had the run of the place whenever we wanted, both places. Okay? We could walk in the back door. The guard there knew us by name. Hey, Ralph, how you doing? Yeah, Mel's in the back. He came in a couple hours ago. They knew who we were. And we could go over to any rehearsal, any performance, sit in the back. If there were seats, we just if there weren't any seats, we just stand in the back. And we'd listen to Mahler Fifth, and we'd listen to Pavarotti sing Turandot. I mean, the music, it was just incredible. So, I heard Phil Smith. I heard Gerard Schwartz. I heard John Ware. Mel Broiles, of course. Mark Gould. Just the greatest trumpet players in the world. But all of a sudden, from that time, my God, he played that better than Maurice. I started comparing him to every single trumpet player I heard. And, Lord, he was better than all of them. The only one that I felt that was really on his par, well, there's a couple, Catarabic and whatnot, was Herseth. And I found this the other day, guys. This is an old book of the month. I'm talking about how that tone is it. That is what we are all after. Okay, now you hear a lot more of Herseth on the internet than you do Mel. Mel was down in the pit. He didn't do a lot of solos. Herseth was up front and center with the worldwide phenomenon that was the Chicago Symphony. But I'll tell you what, man. Now also, over those 4 years, over this time, I morphed into playing, and I started playing with some great players. And all the time, I'm still going, listening to Mel every other week. And I told you, his style of teaching was playing for you. Charlier number 2, ba da da doo, major, Caress the Baby. That's where we first talked about Caress the Baby. Ace, you got to lay down your sword and dagger and caress the baby. Think of it this way, Ace. Ba-dee-da-da-da-da. Okay, you try it. I mean, it was humbling, but it was such an education. But I tell you guys, to this day, I think he's the best. Now, here's something else to think of. As much as I love Doc, You ever heard Doc play piccolo? It's not as good as that. I'm telling you, I just think he was the best. And I love Doc. Don't get me wrong. Don't even think about trolling me about Doc. I'm going to do a Doc tomorrow about his virtuosity and stuff. But anyway, in my humble opinion, the best ever. Now, Catarabic was close to it. Herseth was on that level. There's no question about it. There were some other guys, Catarabic, Katala, that were the next best thing. But those were the two. Those were the two. So anyway, check out that, what you call it, the clip. You know what I'm talking about. And once again, Nick, thanks for the music. Love you all, guys.